What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Show, where I, Graham Gius and Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network and on Peacock, unfortunately. And today we're talking the May 8th, 2021 edition of Talking Smack. So this, for me, was not uploaded on Peacock until like fucking 5 o'clock Eastern, which is ridiculous. I'm pretty sure other people got it first. I looked on Twitter to just make sure I wasn't crazy, and I looked again later. I tweeted about it initially, then I looked on, what people were saying about Talking Smack. I saw tweets about the show from fucking 1 p.m. Eastern. I definitely did not have it uploaded by 1 p.m. Eastern time. So I don't know if people are watching it on the network elsewhere in the world, and maybe just Peacock is slow. Like, I thought maybe because with Peacock, because they're not doing it at 10 a.m. anymore, maybe they're just uploading it all at the same time on Peacock and on the network. It's just a lot later. But it looks like people on the network had it way before we did on Peacock. So I'm going to have to try to find other ways to watch this, because if this keeps going on, I'll probably just put the reviews up on Sunday. I'm doing this now just because I have something else going up tomorrow, and I got to catch up with other content. But, man, what the fuck? Seriously, why isn't this shit up a lot earlier than it is? If you're going to upload it at fucking 4 o'clock at that point, don't even upload it at all. Like, I'm sure the Chronicle tomorrow and Damian Priest will be uploaded by, 10 a.m. Will be uploaded first thing tomorrow. I guess Talking Smack, they recorded on Friday. It's a pretty quick turnaround time. I understand that. But still, like, they gotta be more consistent with when the show goes up on with when it goes up on Peacock. It's ridiculous, especially if the network is getting it first and Peacock is slow to upload it. That's just bullshit. I know we in the U.S. have had it a lot nicer than people elsewhere in the world when it comes to the network, so now we're kind of getting the shit end of the stick, but still. It's just, there's no excuse for it. So putting that shit aside, this was well worth the wait. This was a great episode of Talking Smack. And one thing I do know from watching the show every single week, we're guaranteed to get a good show. Very rarely is it a bad show or not worth watching. Raw Talk had a lot of those episodes for a very long time. The show's a lot better now with Kevin Patrick, and Kayla filled in this week, but Kevin Patrick's a good host, and R-Truth's been back recently, and Xavier Woods was great for as long as he was around. But anyway, Talking Smack is consistently great. I was going to say television. It's not television. It's on the streaming services. But it's always very entertaining. And Kayla and Heyman have their chemistry down to a science. No pun intended, I guess. But their formula here of Kayla opening up, a lot of energy, more so than usual on this episode from Kayla, is just awesome. And she looked great, by the way, with the curly hair for Throwback SmackDown. They try to pretend they filmed the show on Saturday mornings. They don't. Obviously, they filmed this on Friday. And 205 Live is so fucking irrelevant. I'm not even exactly sure why. The funny thing is that if you watch SmackDown, you would never know that 205 Live airs right after SmackDown on the network and on Peacock. So at that point, just put 205 Live up on Saturday mornings. That might honestly make more sense. And then just put Talking Smack on immediately following SmackDown. Maybe because they need more time, like after the show goes off the air. But the thing is that they do Raw Talk Live right after Raw goes off the air. So why can't you do that with Talking Smack? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But anyway, this is always a great show. So Kayla was needling Heyman at the beginning here, which was awesome. She plays up how Cesaro was standing tall at the end of the night over Roman Reigns, over Jimmy Uso, over Jey Uso. And she asks Heyman for his thoughts on it, and he calls her biased, which was great. And he goes off on this whole tangent about why he's not biased and Kayla is, which was great. The first guests on the show were the Mysterios, Dominic and Rey Mysterio. Dominic said that Dolph had it coming. He did beat Dolph in like 2 minutes on the show last night. And Rey says that he's proud of him, not only for the win over Dolph on Friday, but really for all the progress he's shown in the last year in the ring. And he feels a lot of pressure having to go out there and win the tag team titles with his son come next Sunday at WrestleMania Backlash, and being the father of the superstar, and he knows the pressure that goes into it. But Dominic himself never thought that he would be teaming with his dad, ever. If you asked him 10 years ago when he was on SmackDown with the blonde hair, part of the, or not even 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 16 years ago at this point, in the angle with Eddie Guerrero and his father and whatever, if he thought he would be teaming with his dad at some point, he would have never believed you. So I thought they had a good segment there to hype up the SmackDown Tag Team title match against Rude and Ziggler at WrestleMania Backlash next weekend. The next person they had on was Sonya Deville, who I'm pretty sure was on Raw Talk this week, so she's pulling double duty. So she was on Talking Smack, and Heyman, one of the first things, he's definitely said this before, he's like, oh yeah, Sonya over here, she has a crush on me. And then Kayla's like, I guarantee you she does not. And he goes, what is it? Is it because I'm bald, or because I'm Jewish, or because I'm this and that and whatever? And she's like, I don't think we need to go into why she doesn't like you, Paul, or why she wouldn't like you. And Sonya's like, oh, go ahead, Kayla, go ahead and say it. And Kayla just kind of refuses, and they move on. So I thought that was funny. But yeah, Kayla she goes off here. She calls out Sonya for her recent actions. And I like how Sonya, or rather, Sonya too, but I like how Kayla is, she's not really unbiased, because clearly she favors the baby faces as a typical babyface commentator in WWE. But I like how she doesn't stand back. Like, she calls out Sonya for her shit, not in a disrespectful way. She's like, I don't really believe you, and this is why. So I thought that was cool. But Sonya remains, very, very civil. I was surprised by that. She didn't go off of the handle here. She simply said that she's trying to make SmackDown and Raw the best that she can. And that she, a lot like Adam Pearce, she's just doing her job. So then Paul Heyman goes off on Sonya and is like, listen, you're an MMA fighter. Why are you out here wearing a suit, making these official decisions? Why are you an authority figure when you should be in there kicking ass? I'm from New York. If someone like Adam Pearce spoke to me like that, I'd be whipping their ass. He used the fucking New York accent, which was great. I would whip their ass, or whatever he said. He used it on SmackDown a couple of months ago against, who was it, Kevin Owens or Adam Pearce, I think it was. Was that what it was? Anyway, it was amazing. So after he's done with his little rant here on Sonya, she's silent. She puts the mic down, and she says, I'm not the girl that you think I am anymore. And then she just walks off. So she's trying to say that she's changed her ways and she's a better person now, being back. Clearly we're getting heel Sonya back at some point, and I can't wait. I mean, she's trying to pretend that we're not, which we will, obviously. If she wasn't, then we wouldn't be getting all of this recent Sonya stuff on Raw and SmackDown. But when that day comes, it's going to be amazing, because heel Sonya last year was one of the best characters in all of WWE. So I can't wait for that. The last person they welcome on is none other than Kevin Owens, who is amazing. He is so wildly fucking entertaining. It was his birthday on Friday, so they filmed this when it was his birthday. It was SmackDown. SmackDown marked his birthday, and he remembers celebrating his birthday with his family. Not remembers, but talks about celebrating his birthday with his family that morning, because he lives in Florida, in Tampa, whatever. So he got to celebrate and wake up in his own bed, I would assume, on his birthday. Got to have cake, I guess, with his kids before they went off to school, so they were having cake first thing in the morning. But then again, he couldn't be there after they got home from school because he had to drive to the arena. So that's cool. I thought it was cool. It was probably, maybe aside from last year, one of the first times he ever got to celebrate his birthday with his family, which is pretty cool. Maybe last year too, because he didn't have a show on his birthday. His birthday would have been on a Thursday, and he was on Raw at that point, so he was probably home for that birthday too. But other than that, he's probably not ordinarily home for his birthday, so I thought that was cool. He remembers his birthday a few years ago, riding in South Dakota with a couple of friends, Sami Zayn, Big Cass. He goes, oh, you remember Big Cass? I'm surprised they didn't make an Impact joke, like, oh, he's out making an impact elsewhere right now or whatever, because that's where he is. W. Morrissey recently showed up in Impact. And the fourth person was Roman Reigns. He also recalls going to a Waffle House, maybe not on his birthday, but around his birthday, because he recalled how he debuted attacking John Cena on Raw around his birthday 6 years ago in 2015. But he debuted on Raw after his birthday, because if his birthday is May 7th, he didn't debut until the 18th. So he might have been, riding with the main roster at that point. It might have been soon after his birthday, whatever. Even still, it was 2015. He walked into a Waffle House. It was soon after he joined the main roster. He saw sitting at a booth the Usos, Naomi, and Tamina. Kind of paid his respects, nodded, whatever, sat by himself because he was still new. On his way out, he went to go pay. They had already paid for him, and he never forgot that. A wonderful gesture on the part of the Usos, Naomi, and Tamina. Jey Uso is not that same Jey Uso currently as he was back in 2015. He feels that he may have been manipulated by Paul, by Roman, whoever. Currently, Kevin doesn't have any friends. Because of his own mistakes, he realizes that. And he also didn't enjoy his first Universal Championship reign. He had way too much going on. He wasn't a great person. and too much going on in terms of like interference and siding with the authority and just kind of focusing on being the guy and not really taking a second to enjoy it. But if and when that Universal Championship comes back in his possession, he says, he's going to enjoy every second of that next reign. Because if Roman is still champion come that Cesaro match at WrestleMania Backlash, if he's still champion after that or against whoever gets the next shot beyond Cesaro, Kevin Owens is not going anywhere, and he's coming back for Roman Reigns in that Universal Championship. Kevin Owens was on point here. He was fucking awesome. I don't want to see Owens and Reigns anytime soon again. Mind you, we already saw it 3 times and Owens lost every fucking time. And it was a great feud with great matches, but I don't want to see that rivalry done again anytime soon. That said, this was really well done. And then we get the typical Paul Heyman rant to end the show, or at least I thought we would, because the time they usually reserve for Paul at the end here wasn't cut short. He simply had nothing to say. So after Kevin Owens kind of silences Paul, they come back from commercial, and Kayla asks Paul, like, what are your thoughts on the dissension in the family between the Usos and Roman and Cesaro laying them all out, and there kind of being dissension in the ranks right now? He looks at the camera, looks at Kayla, takes his headset off angrily, passive-aggressively, and throws it down, and that's it. That was the end of the episode. So he doesn't speak once, and it's because he's at a loss for words after what happened at the end of SmackDown this week. This was a great show. Paul Heyman is a national treasure. Kayla has gotten so great in the host role. I don't watch The Bump, but she's great here on Talking Smack. And, Kevin Owens was the highlight. He was amazing. Sonya played her role well. Further that story. And the Mysterios were a lot of fun, too, furthering their recent feud with the SmackDown Tag Team Champions heading into WrestleMania Backlash. 2 thumbs up for Talking Smack, although it went up a lot later than I was hoping on Peacock, for those who live in the States. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my account that gets the episodes at fucking 5 o'clock as opposed to like 10 or 1 or whatever. I know I'm complaining a lot about that, but it really does create an inconvenience, because as someone who watches the show and reviews the show, and I'm sometimes not around on Saturdays, it's a big pain in the ass. So I'm hoping to keep the reviews going here on Saturdays, but if the episodes keep going up a lot later, then I can't. So it is what it is, but you guys could check out more reviews of mine from Talking Smack here in the channel in the description box down below. Be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more daily content. Hit the bell button if you haven't already to be notified every time a new video goes up. We had my SmackDown audio review go up earlier with my full thoughts on Friday's show, which I thought was a lot of fun. We've had interviews all week with Tommy Bechtel from New Rockstars, who was awesome. I talked to Isaiah Swerve Scott on Tuesday. That interview went up on Tuesday. Braun Strowman from Raw on Monday. A lot of great interviews from the last week alone. Q&A videos, WrestleRant radio excerpts. I have an unboxing video coming here to the channel. A very rare unboxing video coming at some point in the next few days. Dark Side of the Ring reviews. That happened on Friday. Miz and Maurice, or Miz and Mrs. reviews rather, on Wednesdays. Raw Talk, Talking Smack, you name it, I review it. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Have an awesome rest of your weekend, guys. Enjoy Mother's Day on Sunday. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.